To whom it may concern, from Peter Bell, date April 26th, 2020, regarding Placer Gold contract company. Premise of business idea: simply pay dividends as gold, physical gold doré, plus 900 fineness. How much? $250,000 gold production first year from surface placer work. If you have a crew who know what to do and they have gear, could you do, $250,000 is 10 ounces? How many ounces is that? 250,000 from $2,500 an ounce? 100 ounces? 30 grams per ounce? 3 kilograms of gold. Can you do 3 kilos? Over 3 months? A kilo a month? 30 grams? A day? An ounce a day? For 3 months steady? Good luck. Right? You're lucky to get a quarter of that, a tenth of that. So, make sure you're working at the richest place possible. Case in point, Lightning Creek, British Columbia. Private co gets a piece of gold production. Sell forward production. Sell forward production to physical buyers. Sell forward profit margin. Fixed price for the forward price buyers, and somebody gets a difference, the delta. You securitize that. Trade that to a royalty company as a private company. Placer mining contract company. Let's go. Would be wicked thing to do. And it's possible at Lightning Creek because it's one of the richest gold creeks in the world. And going into production this year. Again, surface mining rights. Omanika owns them. Are they going to use them? Let's find a way to use them. Let's hire a crew and get to work. The basic economics and costing suggests to me it's possible to finance the program by exercising my warrants. And to do that, sell shares worth $10,000, put into the company treasury. And when I do that, raise money to contract mining company does the work in kind. So cost ratio, cash costs to the total cost is lower. You can pay your staff in share certs, pay a dividend in physical gold. Can also give Omanika Mining, the public company, shares in the private company as a controlling interest in the placer rights, with whatever pre-existing obligations there are with HCC Mining as a private contractor at site. You know, like, are we mobilizing to our own site safely and securely? Do we have permission to do that for this placer mining company? And what activities will we be doing when we get there? Short answer is crew. 5 guys running a high banker or 2. Maybe a mini trommel, a water-powered mini trommel. Process quite a lot of dirt if you have strong backs to do it. So capitalize some spending, get some guys who can provide their own accommodation and transportation. You know, you need some dirt bikes out there, some ATV type situation. So do that and send those guys out with high banker, sluice box, gold pans, shovels, bunch of hand gear, and go work. This is crazy, but literally send out a group of people to dig up rocks and dump it into sluice box. And one question about permittability is stream screening. So not sluicing, but screening clay material. Doing that in a tub or on the ground, doing it in a tub in a controlled environment, or doing that in the river at a creek. Possible to dig up dirt and put it in bags in the water and shake it so the dirt comes off, and put a bag of screens. Extensive kind of material handling activities possible, right? So it's a really epic undertaking. If not clay material, to dig up, you know, rough rocks at surface. You know, use a pneumatic shovel operated by hand, where you like use leverage to help lift rocks and dig up wet piles of dirt. Different types of shovels and like screening boxes. Get some chicken wire, get a bunch of different types of chicken wire. It's really the mini trommel that you have to get, the water-powered trommel from the Alberta Gold Equipment. It's like $2,000 new. So, possible first thing that the private company does is buys that, and then goes and uses it, right? Possible to ask for delivery May 18th in Quesnel. Give yourself a date, you know, put down $1,000, whatever the producer wants. Like, he said he wants some down payment. Give it up, find a way, start to capitalize, you know, the venture. And really, the public company, Omanika Mining, has a lot more budget than my private placer co. But if I'm willing and able to do things that they're not, right? Or maybe they're ahead of me on this, and they have planned groups of people walking walking the ground, working it by hand at surface, HCC. If they have crews doing it, think of that. That would be wicked. You don't need me and Maxime to do it. You need professionals, right? I've contacted Ridgeline Exploration Services, Mike Blady, and other John Fammy, asking about doing this contract mining for placer claims at Lightning Creek, the wing dam. What will we get? Right? There's an underground mine here, and there's a placer miner down there. So there's 2 mines within like 5 or 10 kilometers. Gold mines, very rich. So what's the possibility of a very rich surface placer? For example, old benches in hill settings. So an important feature is the Omanika mining placer claims cover large amounts of hill away from the creek. So that's good, because it means there's lots of benches of gold, old pay river, pay creek, pay dirt up in the hills. And if you have some skills, you can go mine it. That's the kind of thing I'd say. Ridgeline Exploration Services, let's do it. Let's do some dry screening work at site, some drying and some screening, and then let's do some transport, by wire trapeze from the hill down to the creek, up above the tree line. Something like that would be a good way to move dirt over 600 meters, 700 meters. Right? Like if you had pay dirt that was so good that you could move it a kilometer with like custom machinery, like transported using gravity, reduce the handling costs to a manageable level. If you had such high grade, it'd be hilarious. Try and mine it. What would you do? It's placer mining. If you did it in a non-mechanized fashion, you can do it without a permit. So, drying it, screening it. Washing it, really. Eventually you got to put it through some water, I guess. Really. Good news is you have a lot of water up at the creek, right? So you can do that. It's a priority. In fact, one of the most controversial things I would say is that the Placer private company should placer miner should start by paying all the gold to Omanika and letting them finish it. Because if we dig up some dirt and get it in the mud and refine it, get it down to something manageable, they can do a lot more, a lot easier, a lot better. The one thing we can do that they may not be doing is going and digging up the dirt at the bank, at the surface right now, screening for nuggets. Could we do a nugget hunt at surface? What would that look like? Some super coarse screen work in the wet? Seriously, private company partner with Omanika on a carry basis for gold production to start with. 100% to Omanika, Would you, could you, should you, imagine that. Put up $5,000 towards that. Put up $10,000 towards that. And match it with as much or more, in-kind contributions by the people who do the work out of their expense, up front. Situation where their total compensation partly based on cash, partly based on shares in this company, where shares in the company have something to do with the amount of gold that's produced in the placer mining. And focus on non-mechanized high banker down creek from the Wing Dam mine, of surface material following, permit guidelines. Pretty simple. Get a tub for the water. And sluice away. Fill up as much moss as you can, as quickly as you can, and take it to the Wing Dam mine site and give them buckets or whatever we have. Maybe, fill up some buckets in advance. I don't know what the run system looks like back and forth between the underground site where they're doing, some gold refining and what we're doing, which is, similar but different. We're doing it at surface. They're doing something completely different. So, say again, private companies start with capital that I raise from selling warrants in Omanika. So, interesting fact, the amount of money that I will put into the company when I exercise those warrants is more than enough to cash fund a research grant with someone under the MyTax Accelerate internship for graduate students. $7,500, 150% matching with government. Right? Those are great right now. April 2020, May 2021. Who's hiring, right? So I'm talking about going to university and hiring using the Accelerate internship scholarship program. And so I'm about a block away from the University of Victoria in this moment as I'm walking outside, and if we go there to get people, maybe. Really, the placer mining crew can be like outdoor ed students. They don't have to, we could teach people to be placer miners. Priority is physical strength. So we want to go hire athletes from university systems, colleges, maybe high schools. I don't know. There's a lot of questions about the employment relationship constituted by all this activity. I don't know what that is. Private company, you're going to need to take care of that. Specify clearly with Omanika, public company. likely entail entirely at operator's risk. Period. Probably non-negotiable. Recommend insurance. Terrible situation. You know, $5,000 like compliance costs to hire 2 people, 3 people. Hire crew 5 people costs $5,000 in compliance in the first year. Maybe. In addition to what cash you pay them. 5 people, 1 full year. Imagine what that's worth. Talked about $250,000 of gold before. $50,000 a person. Production rate at $2,500 gold. Upside from there is just gravy. Even $5,000. Well, it's $50,000 a person a season. Which is quite a lot of, quite fair entry level. You know, start to quite the rate. You know, normally it would cost a lot of money to achieve that kind of profit in placer mining. Gamble is Lightning Creek is so rich they can do it at surface. So it's possible to do, you know, a university research grant, maybe the first one, do MyTech Accelerate with the private company and study the placer potential based on gravity surveys at Wingdam claims owned by Omanique Mining. Gravity information on those, targeting, you know, gold bench, gold pay dirt. Maybe possible to use successfully. May just be a case of randomly testing instead. Cost to test, really, you got to get under control. Implementation. This is a serious place up there in Quesnel. Like, I myself am not really prepared to go and function in that environment tomorrow. So it's great for me to try and go visit, do it. But probably get quickly to a situation where hire a crew of construction guys who got stopped from work, or hire a bunch of grad students under Accelerate internships to dig rock samples, do mini bulk sample testing, placer gold. You know, how many tons by hand would the crew do? 5 people, 100 kilos a day or more, like half a ton a day for 100 days, 50 tons, you know, at an ounce per ton, 50 ounces. Really, you need like 100 ounces. So I don't know if the numbers even make sense, really. That's why you do the internships, I guess. And if you can use the students to do the digging work at site under Accelerate or something, again, I hire some athletes to help as well. Crew up and get them out there equipped, ready for the outdoors, ready to work, outdoor ed, and just go at it. You know, maybe spend 50 grand on students, 60 grand, you know, 8 different internships, Accelerate. If you did that, you hit up, after that you hit up the insert grants for Almanica, for sure. You know, some detailed spatial modeling of the paleo channel at Wingdam. You know, data analysis and numerical modeling of the like spatial, understanding of it, like how to measure the fractal dimension or something. 3D space, like the ore body at Wingdam, can be measured. You measure the fractal dimension for a 3D object like that. I don't know what it means really in that case, but I'm pretty sure that mathematical concept has a definition for every three-dimensional shape we can think of, right? Like, whatever it is. So that's some like obscure mathematical, like data analysis research projects you could do. But the basic stuff you could do in the field would be super impactful if you had the student crew go out and do the digging work en masse. Oof. Yes, please. Really powerful stuff, and get Geoscience BC up in there. Get all kinds of things going on. Make something special. Placer Mining, private company, contract, non-mechanized mining methods, engineering, research project with a college or a university studying novel methods of non-mechanized mining, like water-powered trommel and different types of matting, statistically speaking, and if you do it under controlled simulation where you add in different amounts of gold on barren material, what do you see in terms of the statistical properties of the sizes of the gold, the character of the gold that you're seeing? A lot of statistical analysis possible if you have some way of collecting the data, tracking it, working with it. Totally possible to do a university research project on that statistical project. Also possible to do one on the kinetic project of how to mine placer gold from active creek sites, right? Like, we think we have the most auriferous paleo gold project starting in British Columbia in 2020. Very much a certain thing to say. It's the Wingdam project is the richest. Wingdam project is the richest gold project to go into production in 2020. It hasn't done it yet, but it's basically a certainty that it will be the case. It's an unprecedented project. Huge scale. Effectively 35% royalty interest for the pubco in the private company's operations, which are fully funded by the private company. So, how we fund surface placer work, the private company, same terms, half the beneficial interest or more, pay for everything. Probably worthwhile. Mining costs for the underground used to be estimated below $1,000. They're thinking 800, 35, something like that. They'll probably beat that by, maybe they will, maybe they won't beat that, I don't know. But what's the cost of doing an ounce at surface? Hopefully $400. If you have non-mechanized gear And it's just a small campaign of, 8 days. 8 days to get 4 ounces. 10 grand. So your 8 days with a mob day on either side is 10. So 10 days is $1,000 a day. And if you match that in kind with private contribution, to the Priveco, you can say it's maybe 2,000, maybe 2,500 value that you have to spend. 1,000 with cash, and for 10 days, so you're spending $25,000 equivalent, $10,000 cash spend. What is that? What is that worth in terms of gold production? 10 days, half an ounce a day, 5 ounces. That's a lot of money. It's like 15 grand plus, or I believe that's 5 ounces at 2,500 is like 12 grand plus, which is more than the 10 grand you spend. Maybe 25% profit margin. Totally acceptable number. Low risk, high speed, payback. So do it again, do it again, do it again and again. It's cheap, it's simple. You can do it. A lot of in-kind cash contributions if you go do it yourself. And it's high quality work. So try it.